Hello guys. How we doing tonight? Sorry I cut the music short. I wasn't feeling this whole electronic vibe at the end. Wasn't my style. Let me adjust my camera settings so you guys don't see a flashbang. One of the negatives about using all white, or actually maybe I can do this. No, it won't work. I found out why my camera was laggy, and that is because I'm using custom light settings so you guys can actually see my face here in Discord. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, well, I decided to keep it only for the Discord, right? I don't mind sharing my face that much, but I don't want it to be a center of the Rise brand. I'm doing great, Justin. Thank you. It's been a good day and a good week so far. What is happening right now with NQ? I mean, it's not moving much. And you know what? I kind of like it when it takes its breaks like that because everything is so clear to me. And perhaps it won't be, but Justin, you got that like right now. I mean, I don't know what is going on. Let's go look. Why not? We got time. Well, just the usual. Honestly, it's probably some form of news. Something's happening. I don't know. To be honest, nothing really surprises me anymore. I stick to what I like to do, and that's trading the New York session. But yeah, tariffs could make sense for sure. But I definitely think it's some sort of fundamental news. But I mean, just look at this chart. How many times have you seen perfect equal lows, high resistance liquidity run, not followed by a huge run to the opposite end? It's usually the downside too in cases like this. It's when we want to go up, but we have a hard time, we just go down. I mean, of course, it's going to be a little counterintuitive to our current analysis, but we'll look at that when the day comes. And if you guys are going to ask me, am I going to be trading tomorrow? Well, yes, I will. Yes, there you go, Alex. Looking for a nice short, but nah, it needed a wait. But if we, here, let's go in replay mode so we don't have to see this and we can just focus on today. Because today, for me, I was bearish. Why? We formed a swing after taking out our key objective, right? We had previous week's high in mind in this area. And now I want to see us expand lower for to confirm this swing. Now, could this just be a retracement? Yes. So how do I find a retracement? Most recent range. Oh, look at that. First discount and efficiency. It's really, it's stupid. And now, I mean, just looking at what is going on at this very moment, right? We're doing this review at 8:30 currently. We're going down, we're going through this. But at this point in time, this was a retracement objective. So I was looking for perhaps some form of reaction there. And if we get a reaction and the setup forms, I'll gladly take a continuation targeting previous day's high. So a very nice framework from previous day's low to previous day's high. I'm just going to remove these candle ranges before we go down to time frames. I should just have that in because I like having them when I trade. But when I'm reviewing like that, I like the automatic chart sync, I guess is the best way to put it. Always heading to a 15-minute chart to review the day, right? Pretty straightforward stuff. We open, we expanded lower, had a bit of a consolidation here before a nice manipulation lower. Now, of course, London provided a framework pretty much. Why do we not look to target this London low? Why would I personally not short? We had 8:30 news as well, right? This candle is 8:30 news. Very, very simple stuff there. Or first of all, right? Of course, you can always use the confluence from SMT. That is the easy way to go about these with these sorts of things, right? You have SMT at the news. It is a key time, so you have a time-based manipulation. You can trust this as a high probability low, right? Where we should not revisit and should not return. But what I'm really focused on is the confluence from the day's movement, right? Where we had some form of accumulation. Let me find this guy. And we had a clear manipulation, of course, with the news, with our Judah swing lower, confirmed by SMT, but just this whole move lower here, once again, not bringing any precision to it. What's important is when manipulation ends, and we clearly have our signal with the news with the SMT. So for me, structure told me I need to go long here. Moreover, what is this line right here? And I should put this a little thicker so we can see it. That's my higher time frame discount array. right? So just model wise, I have everything telling me I should be going long. Now, in terms of clear objectives to go long, I'll of course refer to the larger time frame range right here, and I have a clear first premium array here. So that was my bias for the day. So I was looking for us to return to the current daily high here, and I was looking for us to at least reach this level with, of course, my final targets being all the way up here. But do we have to reverse the previous day's range entirely on the next day? No, we do not, right? So I did not necessarily expect it to reach all the way up there, but definitely led for some very nice frameworks to go long. I would have considered shorts, but only in the PM session. We'll go look at it for sure. But first, let's have a look at those early on longs. I do have a very nice update here, actually. Let me just remove London Low, right? This is what I don't like about using the automatic chart format. It's the indicators make it so zoomed out when I use them. So whenever we're not close to levels, I like to just turn them off very easily. What I was going to say is that I have added a feature overnight to the breaker blocks indicator. Still in testing, probably going to be released this weekend. Well, actually, definitely going to be released this weekend, but I've been talking about it a few times here in these PA reviews where we have two separate time filters, right? First time filter, second time filter. Very simple. It will only showcase breakers that were formed within these time ranges. So in terms of the Rise trading model, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And even less, actually, I like to look for 230 myself, right? So very, very simple settings here, but that just allows me to see, like if you look at the other settings, right? I don't remove after invalidation and I see 25, which in this case, 25 will display all available objects. What does that mean? I see every single breaker block that was formed along with their unicorns within these time periods, right? So every single one of these breaker blocks is a candidate for a setup. And here we have our time-based manipulation at the news at 8:30. I am looking for longs. What do we have right at 9:30? We have a tiny little Judah swing, and then we have a bunch of SMT, right? As we can see, ES was going lower, also to reach all the way down here actually to invalidate this SMT, but we still had recent SMT pretty much, right? All of this, we are forming SMT, and we have a very clear entry, right? The SMT is to confirm the Judah swing, right? Confirm my manipulation. But I have a very clear unicorn. I have a clear entry right there at 9:32. Do you plan to code a bot trading those unicorns? Justin, that has been done months ago. I have been enjoying the profits of said bot. Why do I trade myself? Because I like to hold trades multiple days. And my bot does not do that. It's really that simple. All of this mechanical framework, why did I learn how to code? To transfer it into automation. I like to save time. So yes, it is all coded into a bot. I was talking about signals for some times where I might automatically link the bot's setups to some signals. But the truth is, I don't know how consistent it can be over a long period of time. And it hasn't been enough time that I've run these bots to be able to put a product with my name on it that I have trust in and faith in when it's just like that. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying. Before I get a product out and stake my name on it, I want it to be top notch, and I'm just not experienced enough in automation to be there yet. That's why I'm just doing more and more, building experience. I see you guys tapping, so I'm going to give you all a sec. Fair enough, Justin. I thought a Judas needs to be composed of multiple candles. I count the 937 move as my Judas. Is this 37? Yeah. So this move lowers you Judas, confirmed by SMT. That is good as well, right? And as you can see, you formed another breaker block and you have another entry. Sure. Truth is, you don't have a certain amount of time for a Judas swing. It is dynamic. That's what I found from actually testing, having actual data about the 930 Judas. There is a reason why currently there is no 930 Judas swing or session open Judas swing analysis in the on-right statistics because it's not consistent enough. Sometimes it takes 1 minute, sometimes it can take even an hour, right? So how can you quantify a Judas? You don't. You just wait for a setup to form, and that gives you your timing. And here, is this a good enough setup? Yes, there is SMT at this point, at the point of my entry, right? There is SMT between these two swings, right? I only drew it here because that was the last valid one. At that point, there is SMT. There is a move in the opposite direction. Just that open low took out liquidity. That is more than enough for me, right? A move in the opposite direction that took out liquidity. I can frame this as my Judas swing. I really do not need more. Can a Judas be formed before the session open? Sure, but I never trade those moves, right? So it's like when a Judas swing formed before the session open, for example, in this case, it would be, right? Right. This is your fake move that forms your high probability low that you're framing your whole framework around. But I'm still looking for something more at 930. So even if there is a huge Judas swing before, it doesn't matter to me because I'm still looking for one at 930, which is just an opposite sided move. And in this case, we did get it. We had plenty of SMT on these lows as well. We took out liquidity right at the open. We did not need to go further down, so we expanded higher. Had a great setup. These are my objectives, right? This is current high of day. This would be a break-even spot for me. So once we reach this level, I would look to break even. I barely got a chance because my partial objective was this first premium in efficiency here. And as you can see, it reached and I was quite happy with the return. Put my stops break even after that. And then, I mean, pretty much just consolidation, to be honest. I did take profits somewhere up here. Let me go back to 15-minute charts and I will show you guys once we dove into this fair value gap. Why? Because we were slowing down. It's very simple, right? So let me actually draw a box here and we can go back to the 1-minute chart and we can see how we interacted with it. So if we go back here, you'll find that we slowed down once we got into it, right? We dove into it here. And if I bring the midpoint, you guys will see this is just me reading order flow based on my levels, right? We reached the midpoint and we started slowing down, retraced and continued, had a hard time breaking through this level. So since it's slowing down, this is just a sign for me to take profit. So I had my partial, had another partial, and then my runner got closed once we had our lunch framework, which we'll talk about in a second. But this is a very clean long, very easy trade to take. If you missed this one, then you had another opportunity right after about what you were saying, Alex, about trade basically taking this move as your Judas swing, confirmed with the SMT that is present here, right? We can see right here, and then you have your unicorn. Once again, just all done by the indicator. That's the word I was looking for. 3PD array stop loss rule actually would have brought your stop once again to the invalidation point of the breaker. So you would have had a wider stop, definitely barely any R, I guess, to those regular objectives, but you could look to target the fair value gap I just outlined, and that would have been plenty for a very nice, almost to R trade. For continuation, that's great. At the end of the day, isn't a Judas just a manipulation leg of a MXXM? I don't do market maker models, and there's a great reason for that, Tricks. So weird for me calling you that now, but oh wow, beautiful voice crack too. But yeah, I don't do bullshit anymore, is the best way to put it. There is no advantage to understanding market maker models. And I'll stand by that any single day, because any single part of it, you do not need to understand when I can just give you a pattern that aligns you with the expansion. It always forms during the expansion. So why do you need to know that? So because of that, I will not comment at all on this. I just wanted to explain it so that you understand that it's nothing personal against you. It is something personal against the term you used. But if you rephrase it, I'll gladly answer it. You don't need to know. I'm just that guy who wants to know. I'm sure you understand. Yeah, because I was like that. But it's funny how much simpler my life has gotten since I've actually changed that. With trading, I have a very simple approach. I trade my model and that's it. And I make a shit ton of money doing it. So why would I want more? To be a better trader? No, if I want to be a better trader, I'll work on myself and I'll scale up. That's what I'll do. I won't learn new things for a while. Of course, to a certain level, right? For example, learning fundamentals and long-term macroeconomics could definitely help me in terms of investing and long-term position trading. But I'm not there yet. For my day trading, this is it. This is it for the rest of my life. It has been working for the last 25 years across all market classes, asset classes, sorry. So why would I want something different? What indicates that this will change? And if at some point it really doesn't work, and I mean like 6 months of just pure losses, then I'll change. And you know what I'll do? I'll run statistical data and I'll find another framework to trade or something. But I don't see this changing anytime soon. You think that one day trading will die? Yes. Yes. When all markets will be automated, I think that possession will die. I don't believe this will be something available for anyone in probably 20, 30 years. I think we got plenty of time to make a shit ton of money. But getting into that is just a waste of time in my opinion. Just automation, Justin. Once AI gets to a certain point, I mean, there won't be any way to have an edge in the market, I believe. Perhaps there will be some sort of bugs or kinks, anything to take advantage of, like arbitrage, but we'll definitely have to see it once we get there. For now, I'm quite happy with just making shit ton of money off of that and investing it so I never have to work a day in my life. It is that simple. But yeah, enough rambling, right? Once this level got met, I was definitely less interested in that trade, but I did not close it until our PM session. So as you guys know, I'm looking to start trading at 130 right here. I like to have the 130 price sometimes. Let me actually add it. Oh, that is not what I was looking to do. Well, you know what? I kind of don't feel like writing it right now. But what do we see here? SMT, right? How do I know it's SMT? Lunch high got taken here. Lunch high didn't get taken here. We have very clear SMT. This is a lunch trade looking to target lunch lows. Okay, so what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to look for bearish breaker to form. Now, unfortunately, at the point of that SMT, we did not form any bearish breakers. And as you can see on the S, we did not as well. We waited until far later, right here on NASDAQ, and even a bit earlier. But as you guys know me, this is too far for me to consider taking the trade. Why? Well, what is my framework? I'm looking from this high, so from lunch high to lunch low. So I'm going to draw it. I want to draw it with precision though. And then I use my implied dealing range. And I'm not taking entries below the half point of this. And where is this possible entry? Below the half point of that. So for me, that's just a missed setup. I can't take this trade unless it gives me a better entry. And then 100% I can take this beautiful short to go lower. And as you can see, it is above the 50% line. I do like to go in depth about these specific rules because it is not something I pull out of my ass sometimes, right? And that's important for me to mention. I don't want people to think I just invent random rules, right? We talked about it in yesterday's PA review as well. The implied dealing range is always something I use. It's a way I can quantify when I'm too late for a trade, pretty much. What do you use to copy trade? I used the Replicanto for a while, but then just coded my own script, basically. Using not TradingView, Tradeovate API, you can pay to basically have access to API calls, send trades, and whatnot. So I coded my own script. Social trader tools, I've heard about them as well. Never tried them. Never heard anything from other traders using it. So I really couldn't tell you there. Truth is, before you get to copy trading accounts, you have a lot of leg room, and at that point, it's just not even worth it to trade props, unless you don't want to use your own personal capital, and then you go into copy traders. I did lasted probably a month or two, me using copy traders before I just decided, fuck it, I'll just add a bunch of money into my personal. That's a personal opinion though. That's not trading advice. That's really just how I personally decided to do it. Look to take profit here. A lot of random questions tonight, but I love it, guys. I love it, right? I'm always getting back to the charts, of course, but I love being able to help you guys out with different things than just random trading. But as you can see right here, definitely very nice partial 2.57. Would I have looked to partial right there? No. Next take profit for me would have been lunch low. But you guys know me. When we reach within, the actual rule is 5 handles. So if we're 5 handles within my target objective, which is in this case would be lunch low, and we stop and we look to be reversing, I just take profit. So for me, if I would have taken this short, which I did not, I traded up my morning long and was quite happy with my day, I would have definitely closed here. Now, let's be pessimistic here. Let's say mechanically, your next take profit would be here. Let's say you walked away from your chart. Well, that's partial, then break even. It's a great trade on any given day. And here, let me see if we actually had another opportunity. Let's just say we extend this all the way to 4 p.m. so we can see the breakers. We did have this shorting opportunity, which would have failed, but this is definitely not an available entry. But once it goes back here, I mean, I'm never taking these trades just because, I mean, you had an opportunity that did not work. You're literally trading a confirmation that your trade is shit. What do I mean by that? If we go back down here, what are we doing? We're consolidating, going back and forth. So your trade being successful is a confirmation that you're within shit conditions you shouldn't be trading. That's like a contradiction for me. So definitely not an opportunity I would look to take, but as you can see, successful. A bunch of traders will tell you, look, the trade worked. It's a good trade. No, it's not. You should never be taking this, in my opinion. This first one, though, that was less successful with just a partial and then a stop loss, a break even, I guess, is a better trade. This trade gives you profitability in the long run. This is bullshit. That's why I personally like to stop trading at 2:30. Just give myself an hour in the PM session. I only like to trade lunch trades and sometimes continuations, but let's be honest, the only times I'm trading those moves is when I didn't have a good morning, which rarely happens. Pretty good day, to be fair, right? Very nice long, great movement, and then a very decent short in the PM session if you were bearish. And if we look at potential losses, if you were bearish in the morning, which as I explained, there are 20 reasons why you really shouldn't be. So being bearish today for me would have been a mistake. It's not just, oh, I got my bias wrong. That would have been a mistake. Sometimes bias can be unclear. I agree. Today is not one of those days. So if you were bearish for the day, I would definitely look back and review, because within my specific logic, that is a mistake. But see, you would have had a potential for one losing short, a second losing short. Definitely after taking those objectives, I would have considered taking another short if I was bearish, and then a third losing short. So you would have had 3 losing shorts, and no, I'm not going to consider any sorts of shorts here, but definitely. It is basically, why is this not a breaker? Probably because of my range look back, because this is a far enough breaker. Yeah, that was it. So right here, we have a bearish breaker, inversion fair value gap. But as you guys know, I like to have breakers closer to the top. So former breaker here. But in this case, actually, this one is quite valid. You would have had success there, or actually no. Barely any success. Your stop would be all the way up here, so definitely nothing there. Something in my understanding, I wanted it to be too easy and just look for unicorn setup at any macro time and get absolutely baked by the market. I feel like the inclusion of MXXMs with what you do gives me a better idea where the market's going, but then again, there's a lot of laziness that goes on with my trading, so perhaps it was just time and a better understanding, but now I feel like I know how to anticipate and correctly take the unicorn. Fair enough. You know, everybody has their journey, everybody has their path, and one thing that I've learned definitely is that the same method won't work for everyone. For me, when I open my chart in the morning, just before New York Open, and I look at my 15-minute chart, like here, I'll go in replay mode and help you guys visualize it, right? What I'm seeing is this. When I see this, what I see is accumulation, manipulation, SMT at the time of news, discount array. I need to be bullish. So now what do I know? I know that I'm taking any single bullish setup. That's it. And if I miss the bullish setup, well, then I miss my trade, right? And that's it. So I like the simplicity of it, but not everyone sees the same way, right? Some people will see this and they'll say, oh, well, this is a market maker buy model, right? You have your original consolidation here and secondary accumulation here, whatever the fuck they call it. And this is your low risk buy. And then you have your second leg distribution. Sure, sure. But why? For me, it's complication where there is not a need for it. Why do I need to know all that if I can just look at the daily open, look at the current day's movement? Okay, as of yet, we have gone lower. Oh, at the news, we formed SMT while going lower. Okay, I'm bullish. What am I going to target? First premium and efficiency. Oh, current high of day. Like, this just makes it simple in my head. And adding more complex elements does not help, in my opinion. But if it's helped you, then you've proven me wrong, at least for one person. So, good stuff. I'm glad it's working for you, for sure. I just don't like to push that idea towards new people because they get sold on the idea of the complex things. But the complex things aren't always the best things. Which makes sense because I learned from you. Well said, Justin. That's why we saw the same thing. SMT at the news made me think bullish. Yep, exactly. So see, I like to go at it simple. And of course, that means that I'm not going to be the best trader in the world. But that's not what I need. I just need to make a lot of money. And this allows me to do so. Do we have any final questions before we call it a day? I feel like I've rambled so much today. But you guys had great questions. So definitely not bad rambling, but just a lot of talking. All good? Awesome. Glad I didn't bore you guys. Small crowd tonight. Always a pleasure, Alex. No rambling, you answered questions. Fair enough. Glad to have you. I'm going to wish you all a great night. And we won't see each other tomorrow, actually. I'll announce it tomorrow because if I say it on the previous day, people always ask me in chat. But there will not be a PA review for Friday the 13th, actually. That's kind of disgusting. But yeah, for Friday the 13th, because I will be watching cars go really fast around the track. So you guys have a great night. Good luck training tomorrow. Bye, guys.